Well, hello everyone and happy Tuesday. It is digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four, where I go through 48's top stories and then some before our 4 p.m. newscast. Whether you are brand new to Before the Four or returning to the show, I want to welcome and thank you for spending a little of your afternoon with me. Now, with that all said, once again, today I am joined live by 48 Sports Director Carl Prather. Carl is at the second day of SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas. Today, Carl has been hearing from the Georgia Bulldogs, the Tennessee Volunteers, Oklahoma Sooners, and Missouri Tigers. Carl, thank you so much for joining in. What would you say is the biggest difference you've noticed between yesterday and today at SEC Media Days?
Yeah, AJ, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to North Alabama in the Tennessee Valley. I will say that as we kind of moved into wrapping up day two, kind of the biggest takeaway for me is kind of the star power, right? I know that fans that are new and familiar with college football understand just how dominant the Southeastern Conference has been over the last 20 plus years. And I think that with today's sample of football programs that made their way to downtown Dallas, I think you really started to see and kind of envision just what this program is all about, including a newcomer on the block, AJ, and that's none other than the Oklahoma Sooners, who have a lot of cachet in their own right as they head into the Southeastern Conference for the first time in school history. Brent Venables here in the house today, excited about the opportunity to compete against the country's best within this league. We had an opportunity to hear from Coach Venables earlier this afternoon, and listen, a lot of questions posed to him and his program had to do with first-time meetings with respective programs. Oklahoma's going to make a trip to Auburn and inside Jordan-Hare Stadium, the jungle, for the first time in school history as they prepare for their first ever SEC game, and more importantly, on the road. Their first SEC game at home against another traditional power within the Southeastern footprint in the Tennessee Volunteers and former Oklahoma quarterback Josh Heupel. So a lot of big news regarding Oklahoma and their respective program as they enter the league. And then, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs in the house. People forget, even though they did not win a national championship a year ago, they haven't won or lost an SEC regular season game in 2 years. Of course, losing to Alabama in the SEC championship game knocked them out of the college football playoff, but a 13-1 season, and no one really is talking about it, and that is a testament to just how dominant Kirby Smart has this program and how big this program is regarding their solidification within the college football landscape. They're good, really good, elite. And have a couple of national championships to prove that. So I think that's the biggest takeaway, AJ, the fact that, and no disrespect to any of our teams on Monday, but when you got Georgia, and you got Oklahoma, and you got Tennessee in the fold, it really says a lot. It speaks a ton to kind of the star power with the programs, respective coaches, and the brands that each respective programs had coming in, including the Tennessee Volunteers, who were also in the house today.
Absolutely, and I want to circle a little bit back to the newcomers, the Sooners. You mentioned earlier that you listened to Coach Venables. How much urgency would you say he really showed today to really set that tone and prove that his team is ready to take on the new conference?
Well, I will tell you, for those that are fans of college football and are familiar with Brent Venables as a longtime defensive coordinator at Oklahoma before making the move to Clemson under Dabo Swinney, he's intense. You can actually even just hear it while he was on the podium earlier this afternoon. The guy wants to get after it at all times. He's a true epitome of a hard-nosed, energetic, fiery, competitive defensive coordinator, and he showed that today, actually. And yeah, you can just see it. I think that he's embracing the challenge, and I think that his program, listening to some of his players, including Jackson Arnold, the quarterback that will become the starter in Norman, Oklahoma, I think they're all embracing just the challenge of entering the SEC. And let's be real, I think there was a lot of people on the outside of that program, media members across the country, that believe that maybe Oklahoma is not equipped yet to be able to compete week in and week out, and the consistency and the grind of a SEC regular season for the Sooners as they enter the league. Maybe their counterpart and bitter rival Texas is a little bit more far ahead of Oklahoma when it comes to just the actual depth, what it takes to be able to win in this league and win at a championship level, especially on the lines of scrimmage. But it just seems like there's a little bit of, you hate to have a cliche at coach speak, but a little chip on their shoulder. I think they believe that they're a little bit better than what we're giving them credit for. Obviously, we have to find that out on the football field as we get ready for the college football season. They open their year August 30th against Temple. But we shall see. We'll see if Brent Venables and everyone can kind of back up what quietly they're trying to sell to college football to let everyone know that they're better than what we may give them credit for as we head into the season.
Carl, earlier you mentioned Georgia's and you listened to Kirby Smart, but which of these teams you heard from today could very well be a sleeper and really shock some people this season?
Yeah, I don't think we can sleep on the Georgia Bulldogs at all because we know just how dominant they are. They're the creme de la creme of college football, the upper crest of not only the SEC but of course the country. The one team that we hadn't discussed yet, AJ, and for our viewers across the valley, the Missouri Tigers. Eli Drinkwitz, all they did last year is win 11 games, win a huge bowl game, beat Ohio State, and they return arguably the best wide receiver core and the best wide receiver in the country in Luther Burden and some guys that can flat out go on the perimeter. Brady Cook's back at quarterback. They'll have to replace a very talented running back that went on to the NFL. But listen, Eli Drinkwitz mentioned that earlier today as well. There is a level of a heightened expectation as they enter this season. A lot of people are picking them as a potential dark horse to maybe be one of the teams that reach the college football playoff as we move into the 12-team college football era. Mm-hmm. But Eli Drinkwitz, it was more for me, AJ, that he was happy about the year from last season, but I think they are understanding kind of like what the expectations are moving forward for a Missouri team that looks like they're trending in the upper direction this year.
Do not want to count out the Missouri Tigers for sure. And Carl, of course, tomorrow, Coach DeBoer and company with the Crimson Tide, they will be speaking tomorrow, but what is your prediction for how that will go as it unfolds tomorrow?
Yeah, they're the headliner, and for all of us here in the Valley, listen, it's Alabama Day. It's the same on Thursday when we have Auburn Day. But the interesting thing for tomorrow is just that, Alabama and Kalen DeBoer will make his debut. It's been a very long time, AJ, that we've not seen Nick Saban as the sitting head coach for Alabama, walking the halls in and amongst SEC media days throughout the years, over the years in a number of different locations for this big event. But yeah, Kalen DeBoer will face the proverbial music with the media tomorrow, have a lot to address. Been a unbelievable 6 months for Kalen as he became the new head coach in late January with Alabama coming from Washington and, of course, reaching the College Football National Championship game. Just a transition. I think you'll hear a lot of that for Kalen, just trying to kind of get acclimated to all things Tuscaloosa and what that entails as you take over one of the big brands in college football. So I'm very excited to see just his comfortability, how he feels how does he feel now in mid-July relative to, let's just say, February.
Right.
Does he have his proverbial Crimson Tide sea legs as they prepare to kind of get ready for fall camp that begins in earnest at the end of this month? And literally, we're just under 50 days away from the start of the college football season. So, yeah, that's what I'm interested to see. Just has he been able to take a deep breath, kind of tread water, and prepare to try to navigate a team that is as talented as any team in the country and a program that expects nothing more than SEC championships, college football playoff bursts, and, of course, competing for national championships along the way. And then the side note to that is that the bookend team that will end the day, it's the other new kid on the block, AJ. It's the Texas Longhorns. Steve Sarkisian and company coming off a college football playoff berth in their own right. A lot of expectations with that brand and the Longhorns. Starting quarterback Quinn Ewers is back in the fold. You have Anthony Hill Jr. on the defensive side of the football that is as talented as they come. Offensive line going to be outstanding. Just a lot of really talented players across the board. Can you continue to parlay what happened a year ago, reaching the college football playoff, winning a Big 12 championship in its last season of existence under the Texas moniker, and moving forward into a new league, 16 teams, no divisions, and as you try to become one of the teams that can reach the college football playoff for the second consecutive season in as many years. So the brands are alive as you get ready for tomorrow. And it's safe to say we'll see some Alabama and Texas fans for sure in and around downtown Dallas here at the Omni Hotel.
Right, no doubt about that. And I also want to talk a little bit. Earlier you mentioned Nick Saban. You told me yesterday that he was initially denied entry for not having his credential, which I thought was hilarious. But Carl, how do you think he will do now as a member of the media?
I think he's going to be outstanding. I read a little bit of an excerpt from a national college football writer as he discussed kind of just how Nick Saban has kind of attacked the other side of the camera on our side in the media, and literally going through rundowns and literally going through, figuring out what to do within his rundown with the SEC network folks. So, listen, I've always thought that Nick Saban was going to be a natural in the TV situation and have a kind of a second career outside of coaching. I think he's going to be outstanding, and I think he's going to do an outstanding job. And I think the really cool thing that I really am going to enjoy with Coach Saban is just kind of, quote-unquote, peeling back the curtain a little bit, kind of letting people understand what programs in our league, what they're made of, kind of what they bring to the table. He actually mentioned a little bit earlier today and yesterday in discussing Texas and saying, hey, Texas is not going to run the SEC. But also in the same breath talking about some of the complexities of trying to defend the Texas Longhorns, especially offensively under his former offensive coordinator, now current sitting head coach for the Texas Longhorns, Steve Sarkisian. We're actually right here to the right of me, the left of your screen. Brent Venables is actually right here talking with former Alabama standout Roman Harper as he makes his way back into Radio Row. So it's a lot of moving parts here, but yeah, that's the key for me. Just interested to see how Nick Saban adapts to that, AJ, and I think he'll do a fantastic job as we kind of head into his first full season as a College Game Day host on SEC Network and across all of the platforms across ESPN.
Very cool. And finally, Carl, yesterday you mentioned that a new video game has officially hit the market. Have you personally gotten the chance to play it yet?
I've done this on purpose. AJ, I want to let you know for all of our viewers right now, I'm 41 years old. I have had in my possession since 2008 PlayStation 1 when it was called NCAA football. There was a guy by the name of Danny Warfel that was a Florida great that was on the cover. I've had every year of that game from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. For those that are new or familiar, EA Sports College Football is taking over this football game. It is on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Xbox One, Patrick, is that what it is? Xbox One? Yeah, he doesn't know. Our photographer, he's like, I don't know. Xbox One, I think, is the new Xbox. But anyhow, the new Xbox nukes PlayStation. But long story short, I have spent countless hours in college and in high school with that game, and it has just been a true love affair for college football fans and sports fans to be able to have this game back after an 11-year hiatus, AJ. 11 years, my man. The last game was NCAA football, college football, 2014. Yeah, man. So, listen, I've been that guy that has been hanging on to an old rickety PlayStation 3 for years and years, continuing to play that thing, and now to kind of see that game back. Early release yesterday. They actually, in the waiting area for SEC players, they actually have a copy of that game, so the guys are able to play it. But the turnout has been amazing. The players have talked about this all the time. And the biggest difference, AJ, for those that are new or familiar, back in the day, you didn't have the names and images and likenesses to players now. Now with NIL and the way things have changed, every player that is kind of bought into the license for NCAA football, you're in the game, you have ratings, the whole nine. I will say for yours truly, on purpose, I decided to keep my system. It is at home. I haven't opened the game. I haven't done anything. I literally said, hey, work before play. I'm going to finish all the work, and then this weekend I'm going to dive right in. I may just be like holed up, like I'm in a cave and don't return back to civilization until like next Monday or Tuesday or something like that.
That's right. You gotta do it. You just gotta do it. But Carl, thank you so much. It definitely sounds like you're having a great time out there. But make sure you all stick around for this week's Before the Fours, as Carl will be making more live appearances from SEC Media Days in each of them. Tomorrow you'll hear the latest from Coach DeBoer and the Crimson Tide, and on Thursday, War Eagle coach Hugh Freeze. So again, make sure you all stick around. Carl, thank you so much.
Thank you, my man. Have a good day.
Yep, you as well. Thank you.